welcome to the IILM University podcast. I'm your host, and today we're diving into one of the most exciting questions of our time. How do we embrace artificial intelligence responsibly? And to help us answer that, we're joined by someone who has been at the heart of this global conversation, Mrs. Asha Saxena. She's a technology entrepreneur, an academic who is teaching at the Columbia University, the founder of the AI Institute, and the author of the celebrated book, The AI Factor. Her work is all about making AI less intimidating and more accessible, providing leaders, educators, and students with a clear framework for adopting AI ethically and strategically. Thank you, Mrs. Asha Saxena, for joining us today, and welcome to IILM University.
Thank you for having me.
Let's begin our conversation today. What inspired you to write the AI Factor, and where did this idea sort of come up from?
I've spent close to 35 years in this industry, technology. I'm an engineer, and I started my career as a programmer, but very quickly I went on the journey of being an entrepreneur.
Okay.
And during the pandemic, I think it was a great time for a lot of us to reflect on what we were working, life, and also mortality.
True.
And during that time, I was really reflecting on my life as a technologist, as an engineer. Mm-hmm. And I also was observing how the digital evolution, when everybody was online, and the amount of data we were collecting, my whole thought was, how would that affect the machine learning, the models?
Right.
And the fact that I can give back and talk about what I've learned in my career was really important to me. I wanted to make sure that I can leave a legacy behind and really take all the learning from my business world, but also from my academic world, where I'm teaching at Columbia University, and be able to take what I learned in a way that I can teach the world about technology, but also the impact on business.
Absolutely.
To make sure that the technologies and business can come together to understand what was happening in the world and how these models were getting more powerful every day.
Right.
And so the world of AI and having the AI factor in business, how can it truly create an impact? And so the whole journey really started from having a reflection on my life, thinking about what it was doing to the world, and to be able to leave something behind. So I really took this journey purely to share my knowledge, my experiences, and build these frameworks through my research to be able to have the world something that they can use, touch and feel. So this book is truly for business leaders, for technology leaders, and for academia to be able to understand these frameworks and be able to share with the students and be able to implement in businesses to make organization more stronger, having this powerful tool in their back pocket for good.
Great, thank you. Now, for our listeners who may not be familiar with the book and the AI Factor, would you walk us through the core idea of the AI Factor?
Absolutely. So the core or fundamentals of this book really is that how can businesses adopt AI, make it really simplified to give some real examples like Netflix. Netflix started from a very small company when Blockbuster was already there.
Yes, true.
Blockbuster was strong. People had a idea of going every Friday and making Friday a movie night.
Movie night, yes.
And then Netflix comes out and says, we're just going to send you a red envelope with a DVD, and you can keep the movie as long as you want.
Yes.
And then it moved from understanding the customer behavior, understanding what was in the queue, to saying that I now want to stream, to now I want to create original content.
Right.
And they said that they knew that the series they were releasing as original content was going to be a big hit because they had understood the customer behavior. So the fact that they went from learning about their customer behavior to predicting what the customer would like was really machine learning. So we've actually been through this, having AI or machine learning been around for a while, from Alexa, Siri, and Amazon telling you what you should recommendation engines. So I think the evolution of AI has been happening, but pandemic has really created that bump where ChatGPT came out November 2022, and it became the household conversation about AI. And everybody now uses AI in some shape or form, but now it is about AI talking to you like humans. So now you have these large language models who can converse, that you feel like you have an AI friend.
Absolutely, and the number of people that are doing that today, including us.
Exactly, yeah. So the book actually gives you the framework of using AI and be able to implement it effectively, know what use cases would be the right use case for the industry, how do you prioritize your use cases, and how do you measure the outcome. So it's always about the value you create. Technology is only beneficial when you can make sure that's adding value to the human workforce efficiencies or helping you create innovation. So the book talks about the power quadrant, where there are 4 quadrants that you have to look at. Are we using technology for efficiency, or we're looking at it for innovation, or as an extender we want to scale, or we are looking at this technology like AI for changing our business model, like Uber did, Airbnb did. So can we use this technology to change the behavior, change the business model? So that's the multiplier. So it really talks about solid frameworks that professionals can use in the industry to be able to implement this technology effectively instead of going crazy, because you could really have so many use cases and you don't know where to start from. So this book talks about how do you start with having some kind of a format.
All right, that's wonderful. So what is the framework and how does one go about using it?
Yeah, so it's a great question, because I think if I give you a lot of ingredients and I don't tell you what the structure is, you wouldn't know what to do with all these ingredients. But if I tell you that, to make a milkshake, you need yogurt and, strawberries, but if you're making another dish, you need another ingredient. So you need to have a structure based upon what the use case is. If your use case is to have customer engagement for a retail organization, you will use AI in a format that you're understanding the consumer behavior and you're building chatbots that can have a conversation. But if you're building for stock prediction in financial market, you're going to build AI that would actually do accurate prediction to be able to know where to invest. The use cases are different. So when you have a framework, you understand, do I understand where my business is? So the first step is the business assessment. So you use Power Quadrant to understand what does my business needs are today, and what would it be in the future. The second step is to understand the data readiness. Do I have the data? Do I trust the data, the quality, security of the data, the governance, and can we really use this data to create the prediction? The third step is about prioritization. How do I prioritize where to use the AI? And then lastly is about building a flywheel, creating the scale.
Could you give us an industry recently which has used this particular framework?
Yeah, so a lot of organizations, when they're implementing technology, so I would give you an example where it didn't work, and then I'll share with you where it worked. So one of the large manufacturing company I'm working with, they had about 80,000 employees. And they went out and bought Copilot licenses. And they wanted to make it available to all their employees. What they missed was the framework. So what they did, they got the Copilot and they said, it's available for all of you. So they spent the money. They didn't go through a framework. And now they didn't have adoption, because the employees didn't know how to use it, didn't know what the purpose was, didn't know what the expectation was. The very first step of the framework talks about having a clear objective. The second thing is about knowing where the data is coming from and having the trust. So a lot of employees now start feeling, can I really load the data? Can I trust the data? Will it give me the right information, or is it hallucinating? One of the great examples was when they launched Copilot, the HR manager came and said, I cannot talk to people right now. He's like, what's going on? They said, people are coming and saying, Copilot told me that I have 45 days left for the vacation. So that is the problem of not having the framework. I'm working with another financial services company who are using the framework, and how they're using the framework is just starting with a strategy. Spending time in understanding what the strategies for the organization and how do they align AI strategy, knowing what the organization goals are. And so when you spend more time in designing and organizing, it helps you implement AI effectively to get the results.
Right.
Because you start the journey by having a design. I always say, you want to run a marathon and you have no plan, it'll be very hard for you to, exactly. So knowing, if I'm going to run a marathon, I need to plan.
Right.
And get trained, and how many days you actually scale up. And so having a plan is critical.
Right.
And what this framework does is to give you the plan. So, and that's why I'm really excited, because ILM is going to have these courses where the AI factor framework could be used for any of the departments, any of the functional areas. You could use this framework to understand how to create the process.
Right.
Just in the example of marathon, how do you create the process to scale up?
Right.
You start small and create the wins and build the flywheel.
That structure is extremely important. I remember when we started this 3-day faculty development program at ILM University, there was hesitation. Is it going to work for us? Is it not? And I think the results were really surprising and, to everyone. Would you like to shed some light on that?
Yeah, I mean, I came in very skeptical, because I was very surprised that just in 3 days, I'm going to have close to 85, 90 faculty members in the classroom from all different disciplines. And would they really truly embrace the technology? Another perception is that the technology can sometimes be challenging for the faculty to completely embrace it and change their curriculum based on something they don't know.
Right.
But what an engaging conversation we had in the classroom.
It really was.
And everybody jumped right in. And even if some people were questioning how they would implement it.
Which is good too.
Which is very good, because we got a really healthy discussion.
Yes, yes.
And by the end of it, everybody was in it and came up with such, I would say, such interesting courses.
The results were great.
It was,
absolutely.
And I was saying, to the end, I was saying, I want to be in these classes, because these classes seemed very interesting. Not only because of the framework, but also how these frameworks will be used, not only in business, finance, engineering, but also in philosophy.
Right, absolutely.
Human, behavioral science, and so on.
That was the eye-opener.
Exactly,
Definitely.
for me too.
So that was my next question. Is the AI factor cross-disciplinary? And you've just answered that. But in terms of industries, would you just like to briefly talk
Absolutely.
about how it affects or how it can be used in different industries?
Absolutely. Generally when you have a technology, usually technology is led by either a chief technology officer or chief information officer. But now in the industries, the AI is going to be sitting in the business area. So the business heads will be actually owning AI, because AI is going to be helping every single functional area. So if you're in HR, you might have an AI agent, or you might call an AI recruiter who could be John but is a digital human. So you will have AI agents in every single functional area. There will be a bookkeeper, there will be an accountant, there will be a HR onboarding, HR associates.
Right.
So you will have in every organization, AI playing a critical role in every single functional area. And that's why I think it's so important that students get to learn in the universities, no matter what discipline you are in. You have to jump right in. AI is here to stay.
Right.
You cannot fear it. You cannot hide from it.
Right.
You have to learn to use it effectively. And we were working on a large language model in the class, and some people were using ChatGPT, some people were using Gemini.
Yes.
But the results were so different.
So different.
Only because, and we call it prompt engineering, but how you ask a question. And
It's
so,
very, very important. I mean, it's accessible to everybody, but the right questions are what lead you to the right answers. So.
absolutely. And it changes the answer. And if you go deeper and you say, well, I don't agree with you, it's like a child. You have to train the child. And we spend quite a bit of time training the child to say, this is what we need. And then you cannot be satisfied with the answer.
Right.
It will give you the answer, it might be wrong.
Right.
And you have to train it to say, this is not right, and I don't agree with it.
Yes.
So I think that realization in the classroom was really good, because I think a lot of people learned that, yes, maybe the students can copy and paste, but very quickly you can tell it's a good answer or not.
Yes. In fact, I love that bit when you mentioned that, students probably are ahead of us with use of technology, and how do we stop them from just copy pasting? Let's say it's a ChatGPT assignment, or it's an assignment and they use ChatGPT. How do we sort of keep them away from it? And the discussion was that don't keep them away from it. AI is there for us to use, but we have to use it responsibly. And that's where the role of educators comes in. And I would you like to just speak a little bit about that?
Absolutely. And I think you can't run away from it. So you're going to have the students, when they are in universities or when they're at work, they'll have access to these tools. How they use the tool is really important. I think we are entering the era where we need to focus on what problem we are solving, and are we asking good questions. And I think the most important thing is that when we ask the good question, we need to have our concepts clear to ask the good questions. And so that even though we have AI to give you the answer, but do you have the right concepts? That's critical. So I think the students need to actually learn more instead of learn less. Learn more about the concept, because we have an AI tutor who can teach you. So you actually have a resource in addition to having a live professor to go back and truly invest in learning the concepts. So when you do use ChatGPT for answers, you're asking good questions and going deep and analyzing those answers and saying that, do I agree with this answer or not? So I think what a great age to grow up.
It really is, because there's so much accessible to them. I mean, look at generative AI. I look at Mid-Journey for design students specifically, Mid-Journey, etc. comes in so handy. DALL-E comes in so handy. But yes, it is extremely important for us to ensure that they're using it responsibly, that it is collaboration that is required. You have to go back and forth and have these conversations with ChatGPT or whatever AI that you're using. We cannot remove AI, and we shouldn't, because it's there, they should use it. I mean, if we're using it, they should use it. But how do we control that, and how do we, suggest to our students or our colleagues to use AI responsibly?
I think it's about changing the way we teach also. I think the students are changing the way they're learning. I think it's how the faculty changes how to teach as well. So I think the old behaviors of students and faculty will not continue. And so as a faculty member, I think it's important to say, you got this result, why? So you, in fact, encourage and say, give me the answer from 3 different LLMs. Tell me what is the difference between Gemini's answer, ChatGPT answer, or Claude's answer, and then analyze the answer and give me one paragraph you would write what you think about it and why. And be ready to answer or have a discussion in the classroom about it.
That's good. I mean, I think the results would surprise us as well. And the idea is to come up with the best results, and it helps, everybody involved. So that's a great suggestion. In terms of how have people responded to you from different backgrounds to the AI factor? How's it been?
I've been traveling around the world. I launched a book in 23, and then I had a workbook very quickly. I had a lot of the business leaders came to me and said, do you have a playbook? You have a workbook? Because we love the concepts and we want to roll it out enterprise-wide. So I wrote the workbook in 24, and very quickly that became a big success, and I've had both the books as bestsellers.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And so the what I heard from all around the world, first of all, now the world is smaller. The concepts fly very quickly from north to east.
Absolutely.
And the book was published in New York, and then very quickly in China and Russia, and in the languages. But it's available immediately everywhere. So, and I've been going and traveling around the world doing the keynotes. And I just recently came from South Korea, where I was a keynote for Ministry of Science and Technology. And what I've seen is that the curiosity is the same all around the globe for AI.
Yes, that's true.
And everybody is very hungry to learn and see what tools they can get. And I think, people ask me, what did you do to get your book a bestseller? And I said, nothing. I was there at the right time.
It just worked.
It just, ChatGPT came out in November 22, and my book came out February. So I think it was such a right timing that clearly there is a hunger for learning about this new technology. And every day the algorithms are changing and evolving, which is for good. And I think a lot of the businesses are trying to figure out, what do we do with this technology which is changing so fast? Should we wait? Should we jump in? And if we jump in, how do we measure the results? So having this framework has been helpful to organizations to really understand how to deal with the technology that's changing so fast. And people would ask me, you wrote the book in 23, would the concepts remain the same because technology is changing?
Yes, that's true.
It's the framework. So it's the methodology. You can run 10K in New York or in Berlin. The prep will require a certain format.
Yes, true.
So having the format is what is helpful, and that's what I think the book provides, is the format for you to deal with this technology, which is such a powerful technology and can give you a lot of benefit. But if you don't know how to use it and you deploy it without a framework, then you're going to lose the money, like in the example of Copilot, and people are not using it because the deployment has to be thoughtful. And that's why I talk about having a strong AI strategy.
Yes.
Having a strong AI strategy. I work with organizations where I'm building the strategy, but I also make sure that they have the roadmap. Having a milestone. How do you implement it? What are the milestones you're looking for? And what are the quick wins? What are the small quick wins you can show to show the value?
Right. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you. That's quite informative. I think everyone's going to be interested to pick up this book. Where can we get
Amazon. Amazon is the place to find anything and everything.
So Amazon is the place to go to buy this book. All right. Thank you so much. That gives us a sneak peek into the AI factor. For the rest of it, we would have to buy the book. We're going to move into a quick fire fun round. So I have a list of questions that I'm going to share with you. Quick answers, one word, a couple of words, one line, whatever suits you. All right, let's go. Are you ready?
Yes, of course.
All right, first question. If you had to describe the AI factor in just 3 words, what would they be?
I would say strategy, process, and frameworks.
All right. What's the very first AI tool that you used in your daily life?
Listen, ChatGPT is everywhere. But I have been a big fan recently of Google AI Studio, which has the screen share feature that if you're like stuck on something, it'll tell you where to go and solve the problem. And I have had, when I'm traveling and I'm in the middle of the night up because I'm jet lagged, instead of calling my team, I just open my AI Studio and I know exactly how to solve anything now.
Wonderful. All right. Who inspires you more, entrepreneurs or educators? Since you're
I definitely think entrepreneurs are risk takers, which we need to be innovators, but educators are the one who teaches you and push you.
That's a good answer. Okay. What's the biggest myth about AI you wish people would stop believing?
I think the fear of AI. People think that AI is going to, tomorrow take over the world or kill humanity. And I think that's not the case right now. So the fact that you fear something that is maybe in the future,
All right. Quick one. Data or intuition, which one drives better decisions?
You need the data, but without intuition, you can go wrong.
All right. Good answer. Which AI application do you think will surprise most of us in the next 5 years?
The AI agents are going to be everywhere.
Okay.
And the personalization that would come with that is going to surprise us. And I think the way we have to change our behaviors, because our friends are not going to be humans, we are going to be working with AI companions.
It's already started.
It is already started. Yeah, we had it in our class.
Right, absolutely. All right. If you could gift every student one skill to thrive in the AI age, what would it be?
Oh my God, what a great question that is. What a great question. Be a student for life. Learn, learn, learn. Learn every day.
Good. That's very, very good. Okay. You've spent time in both boardrooms and classrooms. Where do you feel the most alive?
I think it's about in a room where people are inquisitive, hungry, and driven. And you will find those people in the boardroom or classroom. But when you don't have that, either in the boardroom or the classroom, it becomes tiring.
That's true. Completely agree. Which industry, in your view, is still the least prepared for AI?
Generally, they say healthcare, because healthcare data is not shareable. It's very hard to share the data, but that's where the most opportunities are. They generally say healthcare and education are slower to adapt, but that's where the biggest opportunities are.
Okay. Do you think education's picking up now?
I think education and healthcare is picking up.
All right, that's good to know. Okay, humans or machines, who surprises you more?
Humans always surprise you more.
Now at ILM, we're deeply invested in how AI transforms education, and you've seen that during the faculty development program that we had. What excites you the most about the future of education with AI?
First of all, I have to say that I was so happily surprised to come here. For me, it's a long journey, and when you take such a long journey, you want to make sure that there is a big impact. Your trip is worth it. I'm just surprised by how beautiful this campus is. There's a lot of greenery. I was telling somebody as I was walking, I said, "My God, campus." Exactly." And then I was again surprised by the faculty I engaged with. I am so shocked that how amazing every single faculty member was, and how engaged they were and hungry they were to learn. I had a blast, and I think the students are very lucky. I think the students need to really grab hold of their professors, because I think they're such givers and they're so hungry to learn, and they can share so much. So don't miss out the opportunity to learn. This is, these 4 years you go back to work and you're going to be so stuck in work.
It goes by so quick.
So make the most of every single moment of learning.
And just to let you know, feedback from the colleagues as well, we've had an absolutely amazing time last 3 days, and your trip was definitely really impactful. We've learned so much, and we can now use this opportunity to share this and our learnings with our students. So thank you.
Of course.
If you had to sum up a message to everyone that's watching us today and that's hearing us, what would that be?
Oh, be hungry. Oh my God, be hungry, so hungry that you want to learn and soak it up. This is an opportunity of lifetime. You're growing up in an era where technology like AI is going to change everything. They say, be there at the right time at the right place. Oh my God, we all are at the right time at the right place. Make the most of it. Be hungry, be learned, be curious. Make sure you ask the right questions and stay engaged.
Okay, one final question. Actually, two final questions. Your experience at ILM University, what's the one thing that really stood out for you?
To me, the engagement. So to me, I think, they say home is where the people make the home, right? It's not about where you are, it's the people. And to me, the university is all about faculty and the students. And I got to engage a lot with the faculty last 3 days. So to me, I think the engagement and the hunger I saw and the lifelong learning, faculty were from all different age groups, and all of them so hungry to learn and so excited to show the work they were doing and look what we did, and share and discuss and, argue. I thought that was the treat for me. For me, as an educator, that's what educators look for, is the desire to learn.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for being here. One last final question to you. What next for you?
Oh my God, there is so much, right? If you feel every day you can wake up and do so much more. I'm writing books. My third book is coming out. It's called Digital Human Advantage. I am so fascinated by what the world would become or be with these digital human in our life, because we'll have companions at work, we'll have co-workers at work and at home. So how that world will look like. So I've actually built and spent a lot of time thinking about the operating model. What would it look like for a digital human? What would be the model from child to sage, when the computer actually grows up from a child to being an expert? What would it look like? So I've had a lot of fun thinking about this. I think there's a lot of opportunities for all of us. I think I'm going to make the most of it every single day to explore, evolve, and grow personally in this opportunity that I see of a lifetime.
Right. That's great. And all the best to you. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a wonderful podcast. So much to learn for us, so much to learn for our students and the listeners. It's been a great opportunity to go through the framework within the AI factor, and we look forward to your next book as well. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.